right, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is More on the Road with Bernard Moore, the third, presented to you by More and More Sports Management. Nothing but more is what we're about. My Mike is State, More on the Road. We're always on the road. We're here live at Crunch Fitness. I want to thank the management staff here at Crunch Fitness for allowing me to come here and join them. For more information, you can take a look at them at 2000 County Line Road in Ridgeland, Mississippi, or log on to crunch.com/location Ridgeland. Now, I know they got some specials going on here at Crunch Fitness because I had opportunity to go to the website. Multiple different specials going on. So definitely stop by and see the staff. They're welcoming. They'll greet you at the front door and give you a shot of whatever what you need because they have plenty of equipment here for you. Definitely stay healthy. Now, I know it's hot. You don't want to walk outside in the park. I know a lot of people like to walk outside in the park, but hey, you got cool gyms around here. So, and Crunch Fitness is a gym that you definitely would like to stop by so you can stay cool, work out, run the treadmills. They have special classes here. I'm not sure exactly what this because there's so many different type of trainings going on now. You got aerobic dance, you got cardiac cycling, you have drumline dance, you have toga dance, yoga. So it's so much. So I'm not sure exactly what classes that they offer here, but definitely stop by and see the management team or the staff, and they can definitely give you more information about what you can do and what classes that they have to offer. Now, not to just definitely go and spill into all about what Crunch Fitness has to offer, but again, I appreciate them and I thank them for allowing me to come here. But joining me today, we have a guest that whom I had an opportunity to meet a couple of days ago, and he shared his ideas with me. He's from Jackson, so he shared his information with me, and you can say that we're on the same road, traveling through Jackson and trying to do some of the similar things. But why not come together and do it together instead of you on in your line? No, each street has multiple lanes, but we finna get in the same lane and we finna drive down the same road and try to make a difference in Jackson. But joining me today is Mr. Ricky Brown. I know he wears multiple different titles and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how to address him, though, but I know I'm gonna address him as a husband, a father, a man of God, a business owner, a ministry leader, and so the list can go on. So share about who Ricky Brown is at this particular moment before we definitely jump into everything.
Good morning, Bernard. Thank you for the opportunity. I am Ricky Brown, born and raised in Jackson, Callaway High grad in
Well, that's okay, but
1981. Yeah, and Callaway High grad and the pastor of Real World Ministries, uh, the general manager of the Mighty Crab here in Jackson. We had two locations. Hairstylist, former barber. Again, as you said, pastor, husband, father, grandfather, but many hats. But the bottom line is, I'm a Christian.
all right, now, most important, now, how wearing so many hats and being a child of God, how work? Because definitely, especially since you're a child. Now, being a manager, being a ministry leader, being a hairstyle, I know you're going to face difficult time because the enemy sees that what you're doing is doing something good. You beautify individuals, you're mentoring individuals, you're providing them with guidance, the godly way. The enemy doesn't like that. So
True.
how is it when that have that many titles and also especially being a child of God?
Um, it was a taught lesson that God taught me to the fact that I couldn't bring my work home and take that frustration out on my family. I had to realize I had to be a husband when I got home. She didn't want the pastor. She didn't want the manager. She wanted her husband that she married 33 years ago. I want Rick. So I had to understand that. And even with that, I had to understand that with my children. I couldn't be the pastor. I couldn't be the manager. I had to be their dad. So and definitely not their friend. So all of those hats fit, and as I continue to learn, I mean, I start structuring that around my coworkers. When I go to work as a general manager, I'm not a pastor there. I'm a general manager. So I can't go around and preach and teach to the customers what you shouldn't be doing or what the staff what you shouldn't be doing. I need you to run this business effectively. But the bottom line is being able to let them know how they should carry themselves, young ladies, young men, in the workforce. That nobody owes you nothing. You came there and applied for the job. They didn't go out there and pass out pamphlets and pass out applications to get you there. So I have to teach them them, and that's a part of it is teaching the younger generation how to go in and do their job.
Now, with the now, I know growing up in the time frame that you grew up in,
Right.
you had the community help raising you. You had
Yeah.
Big Mama stayed around the corner. You had Mary Sue that stayed across the street from her. You had Aunt Sheila that stayed next door to you.
Right. Right.
What has changed now with the teens and youth of today? Because you had everybody on the block that knew everybody on the block, and they saw you step out of line. They told everybody on the block, and then it got to mommy and them, and then mommy and them, and the block took care of it.
You said what happened? What happened was the parents took that control out of the community because the parents started stepping in and saying, "What you can't tell my child," and they would say it in front of the child. So when they said it in front of that child, when that adult would address that child, we're talking about now, then there's no respect. There's no common camaraderie where the children right now don't respect adults because they don't even respect their parents. So we have to get back to the point where the parents are allowing an adult to be an adult. Now, I'm not going to let nobody misuse my child or talk to my child any kind of way. But if they know that your child is doing something wrong and they bring it to your attention, you at during that time, as you stated, they could even whoop us. And that was the first whooping you got from the neighbor. Then they go and tell your mom was the second whooping. And then when your dad come home, you get three whoopings in that one day. So it puts fear, not being afraid of your parents, but the fear is respect, just as well as fearing God. You fear God, not afraid of what he's going to do to you, but it's fear out of respect of who he is.
Now, with that's imagine that wonderful word called respect.
Right.
We want it, but we don't give it.
Mm,
We want it handed to us on the silver platter, but we won't earn it.
exactly.
We want to walk around saying that we are that individual that when I step in the room that you should show me respect.
Right.
But you want to hold the door open for a young lady as a man coming in. But you won't help your neighbor grandmother carry groceries in.
Exactly.
But you want her to respect you when you outside and she disciplined you, correct you, say, hey, turn your music down. No, don't come
Exactly.
out, no, be mindful of what you're doing. And I know that you're home, but be mindful of what you're doing because that's being disrespectful what you're doing to myself as well as to the neighbors.
Exactly. Exactly. Another thing that I do as a general manager, when I even interview new employees, I let them know that expectations. As a general manager, I do have expectations, but I do flip the script and say it not only should you, I have expectations out of you, I want you to have expectations out of me. Most jobs, the manager or whoever's in leadership always want to expect you to do this, that, but I need to expect you to do something too, because it's your job as a leader to give me all of the info I need to make sure that I perform this job that you hired for me correctly. So if I don't do that and I try to discipline you and I haven't taught you, same way with the child. How can you tell them what not to do and they haven't been taught what to do? So I tell my staff, I said, expect something out of me. Expect me to teach you everything you need to know to make sure you're doing your job correctly. Then if I say something to you after I've taught you, then the reprimand comes correctly.
Yeah, and now that leads to what's today, 2023, September the 9th. The economy, they state, by the numbers that they have information by the census, by the polls that they take in certain communities, however they come up with the numbers, they say unemployment is declining or is staying steady. It's not as a high. But you can go to any business and they got big now hiring sign on it. And you can not saying you being nosy or anything, but
Right.
you can look at certain individuals and hold up, it's business time. They sitting at home and doing nothing, just sitting around.
Right.
So in my mind, you looking like said people are not working,
Right.
but there's a lot of opportunities out there. But some people don't want those opportunities out there because they feel that it's beneath them, especially being in the restaurant industry.
Right.
How hard is it to keeping employees in the restaurant industry?
It's extremely hard, especially when you have servers that have serving experience and they come in from whatever restaurant and they want to bring those rules over into your establishment. Well, I explained it to them about seafood. Seafood is, I call it a beast. It's a different beast because where you can go to a chicken, Popeyes, Churches, or McDonald's or Burger King, you can say, "Oh, I didn't want no cheese." They can easily send that back. Or I wanted thighs. I didn't want no breast. They can easily change it out. But when you say that you want a pound of shrimp and they give you a pound and a half, and they say this is not what I ordered, or you want it head on and head off, this is not what you ordered. So when I trained them, I said this is not your regular restaurant. Seafood is a whole different area when you're dealing with this. So as far as the people in general, the children in general, their standards are extremely low because they want to be able to. Let's just be honest. They want to come in smelling like marijuana. This is what I do. No, this is not what you do. To profanity level, they want to be able to use profanity in the workplace. This is not. I don't care if you're 21. My question or statement is always do it in front of a judge, and the answer is no. I won't do it. So that means you choose to use this language when you want to. So you're not going to use it, and we have to set boundaries. And when we don't set boundaries, we allow them to be loose at what they do. That's what we called it strict when we was growing up.
Yeah.
Your parents strict. They strict on me. But in corporate America, they're not going for it. That's why they don't get a job at Nissan. That's why they don't get because they do drug testing. So yeah, I don't want to work there, or I can't get a job there. Why? Most of them failing the drug test. So we're talking about 16, 17-year-olds that can't even go to McDonald's if they're doing drug testing. So those are some of the things that we're dealing with as for the low employment because you have and your own agenda and it's not the one of the workplace.
Again, this is more on the road with Bernard Moore III, presented to you by More and More Sports Management. We're here live at Crunch Fitness, 2000 County Line Road, Ridgeland, Mississippi. For more information here, give them a call at 601-360-8080 or log on to the website, crunch.com/location/Ridgeland. Now, I know they have some specials going on. Again, I can't say what type of specials they are, but I definitely should have had that information. But they have a lot of specials going on. Log on to the website or just stop by and be greeted by a wonderful staff. They welcomed me here. I told them what I was doing. They just welcomed, say, "Huh," gave me a spot, gave me a corner, didn't ask any question about why you're doing it, what you're doing this for. But that's the type of business that you definitely would like to work with. They come in and welcome you like your family. Actually, just first time seeing this young lady at the front desk, and I've been here quite a few times, but she welcomed me in. I told her what I was doing. I said, "Go right ahead." But again, we talked with Ricky Brown, who is the general manager at Mighty Crab. Stop by 6380 Ridgewood Court, Suite I in Jackson, Mississippi, 601-991-3828. Now, we're talking about unemployment rate and with how sometimes that people are wanting jobs, but they don't want to go out and work. They want things handed to them. Now, I know being a general manager, you have to face this. Now, with them legalizing medical marijuana, and that's the number one issue that a lot of employers are facing is
Right.
the drug test. Is that they think they say, "Hey, well, it's legal now. I can smoke all I want," but it's the difference between medical and recreational.
Exactly. Huge difference. If you bring me the prescription, we'll deal with it. And that's about as simple as it can be. If there's a, well, I'm on, bring me a prescription. Show me where the doctor has prescribed you with this. And then that'll be in it. But I would ask for this respect, though. If you're coming to work, then my customers wouldn't want to smell it. So I would ask you to respect it. If you have to declothe yourself while you indulging, for your medication, whatever you have to do to not come into the restaurant smelling that way. So if the doctor has done it, there's nothing I can do about it, as long as it comes with a prescription.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I've seen a lot that individuals say, "Well, now this is medically prescribed. What's a prescription? Oh, I don't have it with me." Nah, you got to walk around with that card. It's a card that you have to have, just like a driver license. They
Right.
advise you to have when you're walking around when it's medically prescribed. But we'll come up with different excuses about everything. Now, let's kind of transition a bit. And speaking, especially with you, I know you watch the news. Every time you probably turn it on, there's an increase of crime, not just in Jackson. And a lot of individuals look at it and say, it's Jackson, Jackson, Jackson. No, it's going on in surrounding areas as well.
Yes.
And I think we just had a shooting in Canton not too long ago, and
Right.
involving juvenile. Gosh, I'm looking at in Macomb.
Right.
No, I wasn't Macomb. I think they caught the guy in Macomb or somewhere near that area, armed robbery. If you had to put your hand on something dealing with youth crime, what's the first start that you can say, hey, this is what we need to tackle?
It starts at home. I, I'm thinking about me growing up. I can only go in there, and it worked because of the respect and the fear that I had from my parents. And when they used to make the simple statement of "you don't need to be around those children," they saw something that I didn't see. It looked like they was having fun. Trouble always look good, because everybody's having fun. But now the children don't respect their parents, let alone respect anybody else. So it starts at home. How can a 14-year-old at 2 o'clock in the morning get caught with 16, 17, 19-year-old carjacking something? Where is the parent that a 13-year-old is involved in that? So what I'm saying is having more time with your children. And I understand, single parent, you have to work, but there are still some people that's in your life that you should be able to monitor your child, not let the child at 13 years old, because you have a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, they have to be the adult at 13 to watch those children. So some of the things I still would say, it goes back to home. We started at home.
And now I'm finna tie this in biblically. When Joseph and Mary were traveling and they went to their hometown, and Jesus wandered off, in which a child does. Now I know you probably wandered off from your parents sometime going to the store or some big gathering. You wandered off.
Right.
And sometimes we got into things that we should not have, and sometimes we got into things that was intriguing to us.
Exactly.
Jesus, our Lord and Savior,
Exactly.
that's who we recognize. But he went into a place where children, not even some adults, would try to stray away from.
Right.
They were talking about God. They was talking about leadership. They was talking about how to make the community better. Now I can't say per se what exactly they were talking about, but it was something good to keep Jesus intrigued, to keep
Exactly.
him there at less than he wasn't even. I think it was
11.
he was right, wasn't even a teenager.
Right. Right.
Now you try to bring someone that age in the church, they're gonna pick up the phone. They're gonna sit here and do all the moving and running and get frustrated to my I'm ready to go.
Right.
But they talk about something good. But now if you go take them somewhere where there's a lot of riffraff and a lot of a bunch of nonsense going, oh, they're all up in it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Now, what is something that we can definitely do to keep the children's attention to do positive things? Because I guess it said doing good is not fun.
Yeah, and that's what they put out there. They're doing good. Here's the fun, but as I usually tell them over the book, but I let them know. I said, doing bad was fun. Seemed as though staying out to 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock. I guarantee you, I could stay out until daybreak and then go back to work, and we applauded that. But as you get older, you really look at it, and children honestly mimic what they see.
Yeah.
So when we go, if you're going to go scripturally, when they said train up a child in the way that he should go. So children, obey your parents. Where did it say? In the Lord. So parents, we have to be in the spot to put this in them. So when they do depart, they know how to come back home. But if you never put nothing in them, that's why they go from house to house in the spiritual sense. They don't know their address, which is God. They don't know the spiritual address to come back home. The prodigal son did, as Jesus gave the narrative. He left the house, but when he got out there and he came to himself, he knew how to come back home. So our children now don't know how to come back home because they don't know where home is.
Now, I know you probably heard this saying growing up, or it was either directed to you or indirectly that so you weren't trying to go out and smell yourself down. And now I
Yeah,
can say that I was that way. My mother, I love my mother. I love her dearly. She kept on having me do stuff around the house, and sometimes I just want to sit down and just chill out. I wasn't. Well, I was still in school, so I wasn't working and helping pay, paying on the bills. But I was giving her some money because I was still in school and college and doing a little work around. So I give her some
right,
money. But she had me painting. She had me. Well, I wasn't doing the floors, but I know she had me doing a lot of painting.
right.
Every Saturday or something, if I didn't have a game, she had me in there painting. Go paint this, go paint that. And they get irritated. And they got to a point, like, man, can't wait till I get out the house. But now I'm at the house, I'm looking and say, I got to do all this stuff again. It's like, man, I'm ready to go back home and continue to be a child.
Right,
But in a sense, like I said, she taught me, I learned a lot from my parents, as
right.
well as my older siblings, what to do and what not to do. And some
Exactly.
people said that nobody, they showing you bad things, they're teaching you, they
Yes,
teach you what not to do.
exactly.
But again, we this is more on the road with Bernard Moore III, presented to by More and More Sports Management. We're here at Crunch Fitness, 2000 County Line Road in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Definitely come on, check them out. It's nice and cool in here. 601 Definitely come and check them out. I want to, again, commend the staff for allowing me to come in here and waste some time and talk to you guys. No, it's not wasting time. It's just sharing information and doing God's work. Again, we're talking with Ricky Brown. I'm just call Brother Ricky Brown because if I go down and list the title, we're gonna be here for a few minutes because he started adding stuff on to me now. I know when we first met, he said that he was a hairstylist, but now he's a barber too. So he just told me he was just a hairstylist. Now he's cutting hair and
Nurse.
doing that. Now he's saying a nurse now. My geez, but I use the scripture First Corinthians 12 that God bless us with many gifts
Yes,
and we're going to utilize those gifts to glorify Him. And that's what you're doing. You're using your gifts to glorify Him because what you do, you enjoy doing.
yes, all of them. Every last bit of it, I enjoy it. And I'm a LPN. I nursed for 14 years. I stopped nursing back in 2000. And uh, I retired from hair for 40 years. My dad was a barber. So those is one of the trades
Uh-huh.
that he passed on to me. And with my mom, she was just as strict with the basketball scholarship to Kansas State. And she said, no, you're going to come back home and go to college school. So 40 years later, I have something that I can look back on and say what I achieved. So my thing is back to trades. You know, a lot of things are happening in the job market, but a trade. You know, back when I was growing up, you had brick masons. You
Yeah.
had so all of these guys had a job because they're always been. And you look around now, they're building buildings everywhere. So they need plumbers, they need roofers, and and most of us have gotten away to get that education. But in some areas, they even say that you're too qualified. You're overqualified for these. So trades we have kind of backed away from. I would think in some of the communities, but there are a lot of openings in trades, like I said, plumbing, your roofing, your brick masons, because everywhere you look around, they're building something up and let's just say in Jackson, in certain areas, they're still building things up.
Yeah. And I use this saying. Now, some people may take it definitely sometime out of context. I say, wherever there's dirt, there's progress.
Exactly.
Because when you have some junk over here, and so you see dirt everywhere. But where there's dirt, there's progress. And now, I probably when you were speaking about the trade in reference to because there's so many institutions now, they are still providing you with your basic educational background, such as your nurses, well, that can be somewhat of a trade also, but your educators, your attorneys, your doctors, your LPNs, all those different professions, your politicians, your law enforcement officers. So they are providing multiple different aspects of professions. But
Right.
then there's your trade. Now, some individuals, like you stated, on and speaking in reference to employment, some say, "Well, I can't get a job because I can't pass the drug test, or I can't get a job because I don't have the educational background."
Right.
But getting trades is very simple. Only thing is just mainly definitely working with your hands because, like stated, buildings are going up around, and with this temperature where it is, a lot of AVAX
Right.
units are going out. So
Right.
that profession is definitely moving
Yes,
because
exactly.
I know quite a few buildings right now that the air is going out. Even in other states, the schools
Right.
are cutting classes short because the air units are going out or they're going bad or they don't have anybody to fix it. So there are plenty of trade opportunities out there, but individuals don't want to take advantage of.
Exactly. And sometimes back then they were being pushed. They were being, they was
Yeah,
pushing it to our generation.
yeah,
Go get your trade, because what Dad was saying, they might be able to shut down a lot of buildings. They might be able to close down a lot of places, but they can't take your trade away from you. They'll never be able to. And in Mississippi, we have reciprocity as a cosmetologist or a barber. We have a reciprocity in 48 states. I can work in 40. I go to only two states I can't go to is New York and California. I would have to go back to school where my license are invalid there. But I can go to the other 48 states and just show them my license, and I can go there. So as a young person, if you choose not to just totally stay in Mississippi with those licenses, you have 48 states that you can go and work in. So there's no limitation, especially in cosmetology. I can speak highly of that in cosmetology and in barbering, nursing. There's no limitation. Respiratory therapists, and you talking about Delta Technical College, they have a tech school that where you can learn trades. So if you're not, you feel like I don't want to be a nurse, but there are so many different areas that standing on the street corner, or carjacking, or going in there, shoplifting. There are so many other things that you can do, but we still have to push out children.
yeah. And in reference to, I said they would rather sometimes get that receive that quick money
Yeah,
instead of earning good money.
right.
That quick money, sometimes you got to walk around and look over your shoulder because when you get that good quick money, I won't
Yeah,
put what I mean by good is it's still bad, but what I mean by good, you get up there in the thousands and stuff the way you want to go out and, as they say, buy the bar and go spend money in the mall and stuff. So
right.
you out there trying to enjoy the money that you illegally obtain, but you got to look over your shoulder
Exactly.
because you don't know where you got the money from or where it came from because they may have to try to retrieve their money. So
Exactly.
you constantly looking over your shoulder. So I don't see how it can be done.
And it's extremely difficult because there's no retirement. When you get up that age and you go to the IRS and and said how much, they say where's your form saying that you worked this many years? Well, it was on the streets, really. So there's no retirement benefit. So when I turned 62, I'm looking for a little change back. But if I was 62 and still in that world system and trying to get that quick money, there's no retirement. But again, you said uh, very, very well put is that you have to look over your shoulder. But who wants to? I can't say who, but who really wants to live the rest of their days always looking
Looking
over?
over their shoulder. I'm not sure. I say I'm out in the community too much to be every time I go out looking on my shoulder. I feel uncomfortable doing
Right,
it.
right.
I just want to sit back and enjoy the time. Now let's transition back over to the restaurant. Now we've already spoke about once before about employment. Now I see that you guys are definitely hiring. What if someone, if they're interested in coming and working with you all, how should they apply? What can they do?
We do have paper applications, so I would suggest that they come in. They can ask for me. Again, my name is Ricky Brown, and they can ask for me, and they would forward them. And I do have an assistant. Um, her name is Rihanna, and she's my assistant manager. So you can actually want to, and then we'll give you a paper application, and then you fill out. Oh, you can go on Indeed and fill out an application. We go back through there and look, and then we'll give them a call. But if you want to do paper app, come by and we'll set you up for time. Our interview dates really are better for me on Mondays and Tuesdays around noon. But if you come in, fill it out, and we'll set you up an interview.
Yeah, no. I've got for contact information. You can 601-991-3828. Like I said, there are a lot of places that still hiring. If you definitely want to get into the restaurant business and dealing with seafood. Now, is there any perks of being an employee of Mighty Crab? Because I know the crab is becoming a big thing that people like to eat now.
Man, it is crazy. When I say that, they have 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 16-year-old that come there for their birthday parties. I'm going back with me. Mine was at McDonald's. You know, here's an 8-year-old that said they want snow crab legs, and I'm like, hamburger it will be. And there's we actually do not have just like health benefits or insurance of that sort, but the opportunities that are there, you have room to grow there. As far as like a server, I do have a lead person. I have about 4 servers there that had no serving abilities that are now one of my best servers that I have. So even if the training there takes you somewhere else, you'll be able to go there and then maybe find another restaurant that does have, your insurance or things of that sort. And you'll be able, but you'll be well equipped on how to handle any other area that you work in.
Yeah, and I know that you all may have some special events going on. I know NFL season is getting kicked off right now,
Yes, yes,
and I know that you all are setting up for some Thursday night football
yes.
happy hour from 5 to 8. Thursday night football. Come on down to Mighty Crab of Jackson again at 6380 Ridgewood Road. I mean Ridgewood Court in Jackson, Mississippi. Definitely stop by to watch some football. And East Crab said, "It's the crab that they just." It just all of a sudden just sparked up. I don't know exactly what took place because my mother cooks it, my son and my wife they eat it. They just go straight to the crab leg. So it's a big thing now. So I'm not sure, but are you guys crab leg the bone?
It is over,
Okay.
and I am not over exaggerating. I have people that come from Louisiana. I have people from Vicksburg, Greenville, Meridian, uh, from up in the Delta, deep in the Delta, and so in your surrounding areas. It's one that's close to us. I don't want to get into the name calling like McDonald's and Burger King, but it's just one that's close to us, and they say that our sauce, and we have a shirt that says we have the best sauce in town. The owner, he's a master chef, and he does an excellent job. And people that come there, uh, the customers, it's like a family. And I always tell them, if they come and it's your first time, I call them my step cousin. You have to be here twice to be my cousin. So we've had people from France to pass through. The Hilton usually refer
So
people over to us. And when they come in, they said this is the best experience. And that's what I want people to have, a dining experience. You can easily go get something to eat. You can go to Crystal's and get something to eat, McDonald's, Popeyes, and get something to eat. But it's the dining experience, which my staff make you feel welcome from the door until you exit. And me as a general manager, I do touch every table.
So now, basically, what he is trying to say on the slide, one Saturday we're gonna be there. So that's what he's trying to tell us on the slide. He's trying to invite us there to come and do a show. So one Saturday we're definitely gonna be there. So you'll be seeing me come from being at Mighty Crab now. Not sure if I'm gonna try the crab, but I'm just not a crab person. But I may have to since I'm gonna be there, and I don't like eating on the show, so I may have to. So if you tune in one Saturday, I'm not sure what Saturday is gonna be,
Yeah.
but I am coming. So that's him trying to invite us there on the slide. But
Yes.
instead of coming out intentionally saying, I'm more of a direct person, Mr. Brown. Now, so if you
Okay.
want me to come, just go ahead.
Come on there, and you'll be able to see it for yourself. You'll be able to, but not only the seafood. We have fried catfish, fried oysters, Fried calamari. If you're a squid lover, we have fried calamari,
No.
and we have fried chicken. So it's not just all seafood, but we do have other appetizers that's uh, that's children friendly, also small children friendly.
Yeah. Again, this is more on the road with Bernard Moore the third, presented to you by More and More Sports Management. Nothing but more is what we do. For more information about More and More Sports Management, definitely log on to the website www.mms-management.com to learn about the different events that they were working on, and as well as I'm gonna have to, if once I go to Mighty Crab, I'm gonna post a big old picture right there as soon as you log onto the website of me trying to eat a crab boil. He's talking about some oysters and some ostrich and all this stuff, and I just eat fish and shrimp so far that's in the sea. But so
Yeah,
I'm a definitely, well, I can't say I've tried crab. Yes, I've had some a crab salad from a restaurant. I guess that was the imitation crab, but
yes,
so I had some crab salad, but not the original crab. So I'm definitely gonna have to go to Mighty Crab and give me some real crab, since he invited me on the slide, but he did come out and invite me to it. So I'm definitely gonna have to definitely check it out. Now let's pivot. Now it's time for to put your spiritual hat on. Now,
okay, okay.
come on, share with us about the Real World Ministries.
Real World Ministries was given to me back in '95, and 10 years later, we came in and we started the ministry and went down and got it legalized, and we came into existence. Right now, I was affiliated with Triumph, the Church of Kingdom of God in Christ, for 25 years. And God said He wanted me to focus on Christianity. So when I resigned from that organization, I took a 4 year, 10 year to go. He said, I know you're a minister, but I need you to be a Christian. I need you to focus on Christianity versus your title. So I had a 4 year. I went down to Macedonia, down in Brookhaven, Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church, under the leadership of Pastor L.C. Williams. He's also my spiritual father. And I got questioned real hard. Like him and I had been pastoring the same amount of years, exact same amount of years. And I did about 3 or 4 of his revivals, spoke on speaking engagements. They was like, well, how can you, they call it lowering yourself. I said, that's not what it is. I'm concerned now about being a Christian, not only my title. So we come into the year, which is 3 years ago, in 2020, that God said, and here's the thing, I want to share this. Anything that God does and it makes sense to you, it's not God. Because everything that God does don't make sense. It don't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
And it doesn't. So He told me to start the ministry during the year of the pandemic. And I'm like, this don't make sense because they're closing the churches down. They're closing everything down. But we did start it, and we're still in progress now. But we're doing it. We're looking for to try to build, and so this is our third year in, and we're doing it out of the Holiday Inn Express on High Street, on Greymont Avenue, down by the Coliseum. And so, Real World Ministry, what we're doing is, in the teaching, we're bringing real world issues and using biblical principles to come up with an answer or to resolve whatever the situation is.
Now, I'm glad you kind of said that. Some people think that the issues that we're facing here today has never happened. Everything that we're facing today has happened biblically.
Exactly.
So it's like we're reliving the story. But I'm not going to say the enemy, because I'm not going to give him that much credit. I'm going to say that things have advanced more to try to get our attention, because I know some of us are stuck on tradition. This is how we did things traditionally.
Exactly.
And we can say the new, I'm not with the Gen X, Gen Y, all that type of stuff. When you start talking about it, I was like, it's kind of over my head, but doing my studies, and you kind of looked at it, but I really didn't follow it.
Right.
They said this new millennium generation now, they do things a lot different because of what we have at hand. Now, I love the technology. The technology allowed me to do what I do. Like I said, I'm here at Crunch Fitness. One Saturday I'm gonna be at Mighty Crab. One Saturday I'm gonna be at home. One Saturday I may be actually be on the road. Yeah, I think I got to do some traveling soon anyway. So I'm gonna be on the
Right.
road, but I'm gonna do my things. No, I'm gonna do. I'm not. It's gonna be hands free. Um, so we're into the technology. I'm gonna say technology generation right now.
Right.
Just like you stated when you start New World Ministries during the pandemic, and when we say they, I'm not calling the government the enemy,
Right.
but the enemy will come into any type of form, shape, and size and try to get into what God is trying to do and kind of cause havoc. So if you say we want to close the building, guess what? We got the technology.
Exactly.
Because you look now, everyone wants to have that phone. Everybody wants they want this phone.
Yes.
I know I have two on one for business and one for personal, one for work and one for business. I mean personal. Whatever. I just got two phones. Got too many. Uh, so I have the technology here with me. So if they need to reach me and call me, if I want to look up something now through the World Wide Web, I can go online.
Right.
And so if we're not in the building, we can go to our phone. I download the Bible app on all my technology. I got the Bible app, so if I need the Bible, I got a tablet in this corner of the house, got a tablet in that corner of the house. So if I need the Bible, guess what? It's still within hands read. And I also still have, as I say, I still have the book copy of the Bible. So it's not just saying that I'm turning everything to technology.
Right. Right.
With the advancement in technology, then what you started in ministry during the pandemic, was it a struggle? Was it hard? No, were you still questioning God, saying, "What the heck are you doing right now,
Well, initially, yeah, because I'm still asking him why you got me started. This ministry at the time that the government is closing down the churches. But we're small in numbers, but the staff and the members that I have there are knowledgeable about the technology. So we were able to come together and use the strong points that they had, which was some of my weakness. Being able to use the technology, my son, our secretary, and just members of the church that had this ability, even and to still be using. We're doing it as of to now. Why we call it Bible sessions, for our Wednesday night Bible session, because I have people in Brookhaven, I have people in Butte, Mississippi, that have access. Whereas if we try to have it in one location, I'm not saying it's too far to drive, but they would have to drive 45, 50 minutes to come to a Bible session. So the avenue that we have now is a lot greater and very well appreciative that I'm able to reach a lot of more people.
God? Yeah, and sometimes what people say, what the enemy meant for bad, God used it for good. Now
Exactly.
I know we use this technology. People is instead of called wonderful. I mean, what is the World Wide Web? Should it say World Wide Weird stuff? Something because it's a lot of weird stuff online now.
It is. It is. And here's that can we tie our children in again to this right here is that we allow our children at third grade, fifth grade. That is the new babysitter now. We don't spend time with them anymore. We give them a tablet and let them watch this. Take them to the restaurant, let them watch this. Where we were taken to the restaurant and said, "You got to sit there and be there and cut all that moving and stuff out." But this is the babysitter now. So they sit there and then the parent can sit there on their phone without being interrupted. The same way at the home. So, but now you've allowed your child to have access as they grow older 10, 11, 13. Their peers are at school
Uh-huh.
that's going to these websites, adult websites, and they're looking at them, and you are not filtering, you're not governing it. So at this point, you still are letting your child run free. And if I can, not to, we're talking about prayer in school. When they
Uh-huh.
took prayer out of school, I inform people that they may have did that in school, but you allowed them to take it out of your child.
Yeah.
You could have still had your child blessing your food, praying over your test before they didn't have to do it out loud, but you allowed them to take it out of your child because they did it outside of a facility or in a facility. You still have to train up that child. You still need to bless your food. And then, so when we get to that point, technology has opened up a path that we are not protecting our children and we're allowing them to just have full access without any kind of restrictions.
Now, and with that, I'm glad you in reference to prayer. No right or wrong answer because we all had different meanings there.
Right.
What is prayer to you?
prayer is just being able to have a decent conversation with God. For me, because when it's in the midst of like your nightly prayer, or the model prayer says a whole lot that people don't really deal with as much. But for me, when I have like newer saints or people that's new converts or people that say, "Well, I don't know how to pray," it's just really having a conversation with God. And if you're able to talk to me, you should be able to talk to God
And
and express yourself.
yeah, and see, and that's the way I wanted to look at it. Though prayer is just you just talking openly with God, just like you talk to your girlfriend, your homeboy, your partner, your mama, your big mama, your grandma. It's just talking with God, and just talking with God, and but not just talking with God. It's also listening,
Exactly.
because when you're conversing with someone, you're sharing information and you're receiving it.
Exactly.
Because God is not just as we consider a one-way street.
No.
No, but God will sit there and listen to you.
Yeah.
He's gonna sit there and he's going to listen to you. But the thing is that you must, like I said, be quiet and go in your little corner. You because sometimes, or he's gonna give you a dissertation, or he's going to really sit down and talk to you. Now, sometimes we don't like to hear when God talks to us, because so that's why some of us don't like talking with God, because we don't like the answer or the response He may give.
Exactly.
Just as
Exactly.
and sometimes we go talk to our parent, because I know sometimes my family don't like come talking to me, because I'm gonna give a short, quick, direct answer.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not gonna sit here and try to pacify, appease it, or jump inside down. I'm just gonna give you a short, direct answer. It may
Right.
not be what you're looking for, but I feel that that's what God laid on my heart to give you. I'm
Exactly.
not. I'm not one of to give the long. How can I put this? I know my teachers, especially in when I was in secondary school, I can never feel Mr. Ford. I couldn't stand him.
Right.
Why he was my human anatomy teacher in the 10th grade. I couldn't stand. I'm a young high school student athlete,
Right.
and I wanted to know. I'm an athlete, so hey, we the king of the school.
Right.
And he not just stayed on me, but he stayed on every student that walked past his door, that took his class. So he didn't show any type of favoritism.
Right. Right.
And I had a class, and the class I took was with his daughter, and he treated us, treated her the same way. So it wasn't nothing different. I said I couldn't stand him when I was in school. I couldn't. But as I got older and I learned, and I had different type of experience, met other teachers, and began to realize why he was the way he was with us, and just think about, so he wasn't trying to be mean. He was just doing things a certain way. Like I said, some of us didn't care for his presentation, put it that
Right.
way.
Right. Right.
And when we took his class and we had to sit down and speak and wait, we had to do our presentation. He wanted us to do a certain way. And so
Right.
we had to do it that certain way in order for us to get a good grade. Or if we did it the way we want to do it, we was gonna fail his class. And so I couldn't stand him
Right.
while I
Right.
was in school, while I was taking the class. But it got to the point now, as I got older and I met other individuals, spiritually, educationally wise, professional wise,
Mhm.
and I revert back to some of the things that he taught me. And I
Exactly.
see him now, and we'll sit down and talk and have a conversation. Like I said, this like we BFL. Like
Yeah.
this my guy. And I said, and also he's a pastor. I think he's still a pastor at the church in Crystal Springs,
Okay.
and he's retired and he works for. This has been a few years ago. I want to say he did some stuff with the teacher organization, MEA, Mississippi Educational Association. I think that's what it was. I know he does some stuff with the education. But as a pastor, a church leader, a business owner, a man of many talents, does all this stuff cross up and mix up together sometimes
It
like noodles?
and it actually does not, because in that area, the leadership part of it, because most of the jobs that I've had, I've been in leadership
Uh-huh.
position. So I would tell people, listen, this is the way that it goes. Even as being a pastor, I'm not your friend. I'm your pastor. At my manager, I'm not your friend. As your homeboy, as your partner. I'm your manager. At home, as a dad, I'm not your friend. My wife, I'm not her friend. You're not my friend. And I say that, and I hear people say that. There's nothing how they feel, but my wife will never be my friend. She's my wife. Her name, wife, supersedes friendship. Because I can have 1,000 friends, can't have one wife. So in lieu of that, what I do in the ministerial department of it, I'm not going to try to please everybody and their attitudes and their different thinking. I'm going to please one God. And if I please God, then if you have any kind of relationship with Him, you're going to be pleased also.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people think that the pastor, like I said, sometimes some people won't gonna talk to you about a certain thing because they may not like the response that they receive. And if you're standing firm on God's word, God is gonna speak through you.
Exactly.
Because if you want God to talk directly to you, you may not like it. So God is gonna give you somebody here, earthly, like He sent His Lord and Savior. Because we can go back to the Old Testament, how things were. God tried to talk to you some type of way, but you didn't want to listen, and then here comes the flood, and He did what He did, and we still. I know we have a heavenly Father. Just in God, what's what I'm trying to focus? Just in reality right now.
Right.
If God was here right now, physically, I know He's here spiritually right now. Would you think God be scratching His head by some of the stuff that we're doing right now? I know He's doing it right now anyway, but
I'm talking about his head probably so. The angels even there looking at like, really, are you tired of scratching? And yeah, because as a man or even a woman of God, we look at it and we're scratching our head, and not even with the spiritual part of his life. What 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 is really going on? But it's one thing that I did share, and this several years ago, was that we dropped the ball.
uh-huh.
We did to this generation, where our grandmother and our moms made us go to church. So as we got older, then we started saying, "Well, I ain't gonna do them like they did me. I'm gonna give them a little bit more leeway." And we kept giving them leeway and leeway. And now here's a 13-year-old that we're saying that's out carjacking at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's too much leeway. So where we called it strict, but they knew what they were doing, and they stood on their guidelines. So yeah, if God was here right now, He would totally be scratching His head and shaking His head and looking at us and saying, what is really wrong?" And we have the question, why are y'all doing this? There's another way now. And that's the only thing in real world ministry. My wife and I, we tell them, we said, and some of the members said, they meet you where you are. Right there, if you right there, I'm willing to come where you are. Now, I'm going to explain to you why you need to go this way, because I'm not going your way. I tell our children, I say, I go anywhere you want to go. Anywhere you want me to go, I'll follow. But down. I'm not going down. I'm not going down with you. You'll go down alone. But I'm going to be here for you when you're ready to come away from that area that you're in. But I'm not going to let you borrow $20. What you need $20? You're a grown man. What $20 going to do for you? No, I'm not going to do that. So we have to start even holding people responsible. Our children responsible. At the job, responsible. So once we start holding them, and God is holding us responsible, that if we're leaders, I'm going to need because the people that you're going to be able to contact, and I thank God that Lisa allowed us to meet, but the people that together that we're going to be able to touch and assist in changing people's lives, children's lives.
Yeah, and now I'm glad you said that. I know this was some previous shows some time ago. The word accountability,
Yeah.
and like I said, we holding each other responsible for our actions and things.
Right.
Just said, train up a child which you shall follow, and if he depart, he or she when the Bible says he. Now I'm going to get everybody to understand when the Bible says he, he's talking about everybody,
Everybody.
but it just
Right.
coming out he. So now, if we go back to original context, it's probably gonna have the he slash she. So, but it just cut out word and printed it just said he. I don't know, but that's my thought of it. Sometimes when today's generation that have that more of entitlement mentality, you owe me this.
Yes.
This is mine anyway. Instead of going out working, Mike, we talked earlier in reference to trades.
Hmm.
Now, I hire you at a job to do the job. You understood the responsibility for you sign up on the dotted line and agree to it. Because once you sign and you read the information, you sign. That's mean that you're agreeing to what's about to take place.
Right.
Now, if you don't like it, you can go ahead and professionally go ahead and resign. Don't just cause a scene, quit and curse and all of being disrespectful. Because you never know when you might have to go back on that bridge or you might need a recommendation. Because all the jobs I've had, I left on good standing.
Yes,
And so,
exactly.
and some of them see me now, they invite me to come back. So I guess I did an awesome job. They see me now, they still want me to come back. But if you don't care about the work that you're doing at the different restaurants or the different gyms or different business, why not start your own?
That's the easy part. Since you don't, want to work, and that's where the entrepreneurship came
Yes,
in. And you have a lot of people that are gifted in certain areas.
yes,
I'm talking about a great gift, but I'm just going over here so I can get me a check. Again, as you stated, why not start your own business? So um, it wasn't a start for me because I was doing other things, but my dad started. Really, my mom was a barber prior to my dad, and after she got him started, she got out of it. And then my dad told me, that him and I can work in the salon together. So that's where we are, and that's where we were up until he retired. But none of my children, I didn't force them to get into hair. None of them wanted to do hair. That wasn't forced. So one of my sons, yeah, works for Char in the restaurant industry. One of my sons is GM at a hotel. My daughter works for the VA hospital, and my son, the young son, he's a massage therapist. So our children, the other one lives in North Carolina, but they got into what they wanted versus me forcing them into doing something. A lot of people are forced into things, or children are even forced into things just because my mom and them wanted them to do it. And they're not going to do a good job at it. And we have to, we force, even in the church, we force people to say, oh, you'll be good in this area. But they'll do it just because you said it, because you're a leader. But that's not where they want to be. And we have to allow them even to work in the areas where they feel comfortable. And they're going to do a better job.
yeah. And I know we're explaining and talked about her about the different gifts. I can cook, but I'm not finna go in a restaurant and cook.
Right, right.
I can try to do hair, but I'm not finna go do anybody. Come, my wife be asking me, "Hey, come cut my hair." Nah, I cut my own hair, and I look at it. I may jack up sometimes, mess it up sometimes, but I'm not finna go cut nobody else's hair.
Right, right.
I feel more comfortable with teaching. I feel more comfortable with presenting. Feel more comfortable with doing stuff in the community. That's what I feel comfortable with,
Right,
and so
right,
that's the reason why I started my business.
right, right.
Because not saying that I didn't mind working for them, I work for a lot of different other companies, and I enjoy it because that's building relationship. Because I know God has something definitely in store for us to even us to meet through
Exactly.
a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Now she called me because I was about to be able to call her, but I guess she beat me to it, and so I was about to be able to give her a call. She beat me to it, and we hooked up and we linked up because I feel that God is not doing this just because He wants to do it, but God is doing this because He has something for us to do.
Exactly.
And so now, before I get out here, now I know, like I said, Mighty Craft got a lot of stuff that's finna go on. I know new. I mean, I'm saying new. I don't know why I'm getting new. I'm thinking about the song Ty Tribbett, new, everything new. That's why that song. That's one of my
Right.
favorite songs. When I go to the gym, that's the first song I listen to. Real Word Ministry. I know. Again, speaking with our mutual friend, she shared with me some things that you're attempting to do in the community. Share with us what you're trying to do, or what you're attempting to do in the community.
Well, we have been going over to Reimagine Prep School. We
Yeah,
went over there and did a reading over there, but we're just trying to tap in any area that we can. Even with glad that I had an opportunity to meet you, but with others, um, other leaders. Whereas we'll have the opportunity to converse with them, and then we do have some young people that are. I say my son, for instance, uh, him and my daughter-in-law. They just got married for Father's Day. And so, with them being a young couple, and both of them are saved, I have a young lady that's at Marlin, the secretary's daughter. She's her senior year. She's saved. So, we have these type of young people that we want to let other young people know because I always say the people. we had this generation gap again. They'll listen to them, but it's me. Oh, you old, and they want to
I
fan
should
you
hit it
off.
for my boy.
So, so when you see people that are of your age, and I have to tell them, the young people, I said, but y'all have to continue to be that light. You can't be saved today and hide it. That when you get around your peers, you have to be saved all the time. It's flatline. So this wall, even though it hurts and you seem like you're alone, that's when God is going to use you because you're going to be a little bit different. That's why you're a peculiar people. Everybody's not going to, they're going to wonder why you don't. It's the reason why I don't. Because the young lady, I tell you, you have to respect yourself before you get respect from anybody else.
Yeah.
As a married couple, you have to let them know. If y'all are together, him opening the door for you and all of that, you still have to set that example. So for the things that we're trying to do at Real World Ministry again, we're trying to meet people where they are. And then we want to use real world issues and resolve them with biblical principles.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Brown, I really do appreciate your time joining me this Saturday here at Crunch Fitness, and I'm gonna have to make my way up the street to Mighty Crab one of these days. Matter of fact, I might just come do that and grab something to eat instead of doing the show and just go live from this wonderful technology of my cell phone. So you may see me go live there at Mighty Crab, and hopefully they don't throw. Y'all not like to throw them. Forget what restaurant they throw the biscuits across the room. Y'all be throwing crab legs across the room.
We have thrown no crab legs around now. I left out one thing. I was a former aerobics instructor also.
See, well, you can. They got a aerobics room here at Crunch Fitness. You can go in there and do. And I just saw the general manager. The manager, she just walked in, so we can go ahead and connect. You can go ahead and get you a room and then do some aerobics instructor. So again, they offer a lot here at Crunch Fitness. Again, 2000 County Line Road in Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-360-8080. Now, see, you probably got a new aerobic instructor here, sitting right here, talking about eating and cutting hair and doing hair and metal. So it's almost a 3-for-1 special. He can get you in shape. He can feed you. He can make you look good. And then if you're hurt, he can take care of you. So
my wife, she has the total package.
And so again, that's the gifts that God bless you with, and definitely use them to glorify Him.
Yes.
Mr. Brian, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we get out of here?
No, Mr. Don, I appreciate it. I appreciate Lisa and just being able to stand for the staff at Real World Ministries and the staff at the Mighty Crab. I appreciate everything that they're doing and to allow me to be their leader and trust me enough to see that we get this thing done in the right way.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time. Man, now I guess I'm gonna have to make a trip up the highway to go ahead and get me some crab. Hold on, it's not. It is lunchtime, so that may be lunch right there for me. So I'm not sure. Let me call and check with the family, see if they want some lunch. But again, we're here at Crunch Fitness, 2000 County Line Road in Ridgeland, Mississippi. For more information, 601-360-8080 or crunch.com/location/Ridgeland. Definitely come and check them out because they have a lot to offer. As again, I just met a new fitness instructor here, so I'm probably have to introduce him to the manager here so he can come on in and do some classes. So, hey, contacts, and we making contacts and building relationships, just doing it God's way. Much love to you guys.